Sub-object levels. Here I have an arc that's been converted into an editable spline. And so when I pick on it, I go up to select the object, I pick on it. You can come over and see here my arc is, and it's an editable spline at the object level. In the sub-object levels, I have three different parts. When I choose on Vertex, the vertex is highlighted as yellow. Okay, so you can see here that the vertex is highlighted as, one of the vertexes highlighted as yellow. If I want to select more vertexes, I hold the control key down and I pick additional vertexes. All right. And so if I wanted to use the window, I could also window across and select all the vertexes as well. When I highlight the segment, and let's go back first to the vertex. What do we do with the vertexes? Okay, and so and I'll highlight all of them here, but when I right click on them, you can see I can change the type of corners they are. I could change them to a corner vertex. Right now they're Beziers, and they get the little lines here that can control how much pull we have on those things. I'm going to use the control key and pick on those things, and I can pull on those lines. And with those lines, then I can grab a hold of them and edit those things. So that is one thing we can do with them. And so when I pick on this thing here, I can say, well, it's a corner, and the corners then are very sharp. So you notice now, I'll get that. Let's do all of them here, sorry. Notice now the corner doesn't have the Bezier line attached to it because I changed it to a corner. And in here, so I can come up here and say, oh, it's either a corner or a smooth or a Bezier corner. So if I just go to corner now, they're all corners. They're sharply curved. So we're affecting them right off the bat of what they are. So I can come along here and change the type of corners in which they are. Now, when I select an object and I go to segment, in the segment, this is a segment between two vertices. So I'll just come up here and pick this one, and you can see this is the segment now that can be modified. And I right click, I can do various things with it at this point. So I can change this whole segment of the operation. When I click on spline, the spline consists of the adjacent segments of the object. So if this is the actual segment I pick, it picks each adjoining segment, and it manipulates the whole object at those three parts, which is the actual spline that you picked and then the two adjacent ones. So depending on which one we do here, we have many different editing choices based on whether or not we're just going with picking on a vertex, picking on a segment between two vertexes, or a spline, which is one segment with the adjoining segments with it. Depending on which one we are doing, we can have a lot of ways of modifying our particular spline. Now, by default, the line spline has all of its sub-object levels and rollouts, so we don't need to convert it into a editable spline. So we want to keep that in mind if you're trying with that. So at this point, I have an arc that I'm playing with here. So the sub-object levels allows us to manipulate each part of the object. We can hold the control key down to pick more than one item, and we can also window things to pick more than one item or crossing windows. So this is sub-object levels.